Good evening, everyone. Hi, I am Jasmine Jain. I welcome you all for today's evening. First, let me introduce about myself. Earlier, I was a baker, but I was always passionate about fitness and health. So, I decided to pursue my knowledge deeper into nutrition. And now, I am a certified nutritionist and a wellness coach. Also, I am a part of Health Quadrant community, wherein we have more than 30 plus dietitian and nutritionists including doctors and fitness coaches. So, we all have one mission to create awareness on health, and we want to transform 1 lakh lives by 2030. So, we have started a series of health talk, and today's topic is about mental health. In this era, as we all know how important mental health is, and if we do not take care, it can affect in our day-to-day life. So I would like to invite Mrs. Nalini Kalra, a squadron leader of Indian Air Force, who has always been interested in nutrition and health. Post retirement, she has taken her interest further by becoming a certified nutritionist. Even she has written columns in newspaper related to food and nutrition. So, without a further delay, I am handing this platform over to you, Nalini ma'am.
Thank you, Jasmine ji. Thank you for this lovely introduction. Like always, as we all have been mentioning, at Health Quadrant, our aim is to convert and transform 1 lakh lives by 2030. We've also been talking about various chats and meets that we've been having towards this end. We've already heard about mindful eating, how it affects our health, how it benefits our health. We've heard about the various truths about sugar and their effect on health. So there's one thing which is very common in all of this. Health quadrant, health, mindful eating affecting our health, and truth about sugar. Again, its effects on health. There's a common factor in all of them. And what is this? It is this vital aspect of health. Why is it that we're talking about health nowadays? Do we need to think of our grandparents, our great cat parents? What did they do? They needed to walk a lot. They needed to go from one place to the other place to reach their destination. At home, what did they do? They worked with these hands, the arms, the muscles. They got activated. Did they talk about stress? Did they talk about boredom? Did they talk about anxiety? Not that I recall of. They had active lives. Basic things kept coming, ups and downs kept happening. Then why are we talking about it now? First, let me say, I'm glad we're talking about it now. It has become important. I live in a place you all must be familiar with now. It's been in the news of late, Gurgaon. It's one of the most polluted cities in the country, following in the top four chart. We're living in an era of global warming. World over, we're talking about it. The food we eat, it's not as nutritious. Pesticides, chemicals, they're affecting the nutrition tremendously. And that is why talking about health has become important. Unfortunately, you know, even though that WHO defines health as being a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, it is basically, it's not merely the absence of uh, a disease or an infirmity. We can't say that just because we don't have any ailment, we don't have any pains, we are fit. We need to be physically, mentally, and social fitly fit to be overall in good health. We all want to be like this small child. Just look at this child, full of energy, full of happiness, full of good health, which is showing in the sparkle in the eye. We all want to be like that. But like I mentioned, unfortunately, I used the word unfortunately earlier. Why? Why unfortunate? Unfortunately, this is what we are living. In our current lives, we are getting pressurized by all sides. We have to do tens and millions and billions of things. We're getting distracted at home, at work, social media, everything, everywhere. How is it affecting us? Our brain is getting stuck, it is getting tightened up with all these things leading to a state. We're using words like stress. What does it do? We feel tired all the time. We are tired at home, we are tired at work, we are unable to perform to the best of our abilities, our concentrations have gone down, our output has reduced at home, at work, everywhere. Many a times we get afflicted by this scenario of insomnia. We spend tremendous amounts of hours on bed without getting quality sleep, quantity sleep. Both of us are missing. Nowadays, there's another thing which is coming up with most of us. We're getting aware of it. When all these things happen, we at times get reduced to this stage where we close ourselves within a cocoon. We don't want to step out. We don't want to meet people. We don't want to greet people. In other words, we're using words like depression, anxiety, stress. What does all of this do? It gets us into a negative mood where we start our day on a negative note, we end it with a negative note. And these are the various mental health challenges that we're dealing with on a day to day basis. None of us wants to fall in this category. None of us want to be like that person who just wants to plonk himself or herself on a couch, unable to do the daily chores, whether it is going out for a fitness run or whether it is at work. We don't want to sleep at work. None of us want to. We don't want to have to drag ourselves dealing day in and day out with our energy levels, our power supply going down. And it's so simple that the solution to all of this is really, really simple. When I use the word simple, it is as simple as one, stepping up metamorphically, and two, stepping out factually, literally. What happens when we take the small step of stepping up and stepping out? We come to this state. Whether we do a small thing like going meeting out friends in a get together, socializing with them in a park, exercising together, having any kind of physical regime together, or even going alone, enjoying the perks of nature, that fresh air, the vibrancy of the flowers, the greenery around, activating our oxygen levels in the lungs. They all get us into a happy state of mind. We feel nice that by the end of the day, we have this childlike energy all over again. We're happy. Why? Because we're healthy, socially, physically, and mentally. We don't realize. But when we do these kind of physical activities, it affects our main brain up there directly. Let me share some small snippets with you here. I belong to the hills. Originally, I'm from the hills. Yes, now in Gurgaon. I never considered myself to be an outdoor person. I hated being on the playground. I was usually used to be the last. I used to ensure one girl or one, I was a girls' school. So like one girl is behind me. So I'm not last in the run. So when I joined the services, I had a tough time mentally initially at least. There used to be this grueling physical regime, and I always thought I wouldn't be able to do it. But at times when you don't have a choice, you do it and you do it well. So we all did it. We all cleared that training period. What I'm trying to mention here is that whenever there was this activity we had to perform, we went for it. One, of course, we had no choice. And it made us mentally stronger at the end of the day. When I did it, there would be this satisfaction. Oh, wow, did it. There was one thing I didn't realize then, which I will come to now. I didn't realize what was it that was making me happy. Of course, that, like I mentioned, the satisfaction of having done it. There was something more. I'll give you one more example here. Just a few years back, I got back into yoga after a long time, school and then whatever. And now I got into yoga again. So there was one day when the first time, I did my 108 Surya Namaskars in one go. That elation, that happiness I felt, I actually cannot express it in words. Again, I didn't know what was really happening. Of course, that feeling of achievement was just making me feel good. There was something which was happening on it at a much deeper level. This is what was happening. The physical activity that I was performing, it was having a direct effect on my mental health. What really happens when we do any kind of physical activity? It reduces our stress levels. We know our energy levels go really high. We exercise, blood gets pumped, we feel great, we feel good, body is warm. An indirect effect of that is our mood gets uplifted, we feel nice, depression levels are low, anxiety levels are low. And the simplest thing of all of this is when we exercise, we are in a state of good physical health, which enhances our confidence levels, increasing our self esteem. We feel so good and great about ourselves. Any kind of physical activity for that matter. It even improves our brain power. When people don't sleep well, most of the time they get this advice that go do some kind of physical activity, you'll get tired, you'll sleep. So better sleep. And all of this gets together to giving us a state of better and good well-being. But what is it that is actually happening? We can make out now that something is happening. That when we do a physical activity, we are feeling better, we are feeling good. Physically, yes, but mentally something is happening. And what is this that is happening? So when we exercise, these sweet little chemicals get generated in our brain. Our hormones, these hormones get secreted in the brain. These, in a general term, we call them the happy hormones. What are these? I give a lot of stories. I'll share one more here with you. I had this heel injury once, and whenever I would be walking, or I love to walk. So when I would be walking, I would feel no pain. For a while after walking, there would be no pain. So what was this really happening? We have this lovely system in our body where endorphins get secreted. What is endorphin? Endo inside, morphine, painkiller. These endorphins, they dull the pain sensation. You can deal with it better. So if you can deal with your pain better, you feel better. What is serotonin? Serotonin are hormones which help reduce your depression and anxiety levels. Oxytocin. These are, in simple words, they call the pleasure hormones. When you feel attracted to somebody, you feel good. These are the pleasure hormones that get secreted in our brain. Dopamine. Dopamine again helps improve your memory. It helps give you better motivation. It reduces your stress levels. So, in a nutshell, the whole story short, the crux of the whole setup is that when you do a physical activity, these happy hormones get released, making you feel good. They enhance your motivation levels tremendously. There are different kinds of physical activities you can do, whether it's rowing, swimming, it's an endless list. And each activity has some or the other effect on some or the other part of the brain. One activity may activate or boost the benefits or boost it is working of a particular part or more than one part of the brain, then be it the hippocampus, the hypothalamus, the cerebral cortex, corpus callosum, thalamus, cerebellum, or even the brainstem. I will not deal with details of what activity is helping what. Suffice here to cover just a few things. When these hormones get secreted by the brain at the end of or during a physical activity, it enhances our motivation. And how is that? Because our attention spans increase, our perception increases. When we all this does, we anyways perform better in whatever activity we are doing, improving our motivation levels. Endorphins I've already spoken of. They release these. When these hormones are released, they dull your pain sensation. Serotonin enhances the mood. Then there are these brain-derived neurotropic factors. When they are released, they not only protect you from an injury, your neurons, basically the brain cells, but at the same time, if an injury does take place, it ensures that the repair process takes place. And the process takes place in a much better manner thanks to these BDNFs. Furthermore, when these BDNFs interact with certain hormones, what do? They build up this lovely connection between the various brain cells. As a result, again, what happens is it brings about better mental clarity, which regulates our mood. The hippocampus, we all know that deals with the memory part of the brain. And when we exercise, this increases in size. This only happens when you follow a routine, a regime, and you exercise regularly over a period of time. I've spoken about the blood flow. The heart pumps faster, it goes faster. We all know body gets warmer, the blood flow increases when we are exercising. So when the blood flow increases, more oxygen, more nutrients to the brain. Brain is getting nourished. At the same time, waste material is getting removed at a better rate. Dopamine, again, we've spoken about this. It increases our focus and learning, which brings about an overall enhanced motivation levels. So, irrespective of what you do, your brain is going to function better. You're going to be mentally in a better state of mind. We've seen so far that an active body directly results into a happy state of mind. There's another thing which is very important for you to stay healthy, that is a relaxed self. And how do you get this relaxed self? How do you rejuvenate yourself for the next day, whether it is physically, mentally, or during or after an ailment? Anything at all for you to get into a better state. Anything here, I mean, what that thing is, it is a good sleep. Who doesn't want to sleep like a baby? Till date we use this kind of a phrase where we say, oh well, wish you sweet dreams, may you sleep like a baby. Why? Because when you get that, not just quantity, but quality sleep as well, you don't have to bother about the alarm buzzing in the morning. Your circadian rhythm gets so well set that even without the alarm buzzing, you have taken your qualitative sleep, you are well rested, you wake up and you're fresh for the next day. Now, why am I talking about it here? Because Again, exercise is something which contributes directly to a better sleep. When you do any form of physical activity, melatonin gets released. And when melatonin is secreted, it gives you a better sleep. Exercise, we know, also regulates our body temperature. Most of the times, it is advised that when you exercise, it should preferably be done in the evening hours. That is when the body performs the best. But we know in our day-to-day scenarios, this life that we live in, we don't have that time. So any time of the day works, as long as you do some kind of physical activity within the house, outside the house. It is going to directly affect your sleep in a positive manner. We are talking about, our stress levels and anxiety getting reduced because of a better chemistry and exchange that's happening between our heart rate and the brain cells, the neurons, the neurochemicals that are getting reduced, and the activation of brain cells. At the same time, if we forget all of this, if we don't talk about the mechanical system that's taking place in our joints and our bones, the muscles, that is when we're working out or doing any kind of an activity, and let us not talk about the chemical connections, the hormones and all that's getting secreted. You look at it in a very simplistic manner. When you exercise, what happens? Any activity, you are concentrated, you are focused to perform that specific activity. Your entire concentration is there. You forget about your day-to-day worries, anxieties, tensions, and the queries, the various quagmires you may have to deal with in that day. When you're focused, you get mentally relaxed. Take it as simple as that. Don't even try to understand the connection right now for a moment. It has happened with me. I'm sure it must have happened with a lot of you. When you're doing any such kind of activity, like a walk or whatever, you're so relaxed that automatically the query or the question you could not find an answer for like the last 3 4 days or 2 days, whatever, all of a sudden that pops up. So it not only distracts you from daily worries, it even gives you solutions. It is that good. Of course, there is a scientific basis. We've spoken about it, we've heard about it, we've understood it. Endorphins, the sleep quality, the hormones like cortisol, which reduce stress. There's something more. Very interesting. We all don't want this plastic in our life. We all want to remove it because it's bad for our body, it's bad for the environment, whether it's humans, it's plants, it's animals, sea life, anything. But our brains needs to be plastics. It needs to have that plasticity in it. So what really is this plasticity and how does it come into force? Humans are extremely versatile. We are very adaptive. And this plasticity deals with brain's adaptability. So yes, again, this plasticity gets enhanced when you perform a physical activity. When we talk about physical activities, these days we like to give a definition to everything. So we've divided our physical activity into three main forms: cardio, strength training, and yoga. Ideally speaking, they say cardio should be performed like 3 days times a week, strength training twice, and yoga as far as possible every day. Its benefits are so many. Cardio is not something that should scare us. It is very simple. You can do something like invisible skipping, you can pick up an actual rope, you can even take your cycle and just go out. You can do so many things, whether inside or outside the house: burpees, jumping jacks, running, spot jogging. It's The list is really endless. And the easiest way, which will relax you immediately, is this what I'm talking of. Just put on some music, whether you are alone or you're in a group, just let down your hair and dance away your heart. Just dance your heart away. You will find that immediately you will get so much of satisfaction, physical, mental, everything. It's like we all tend to do binge eating once in a while. We're humans. We tend to eat some food outside whilst we're socializing or we out for a meeting. Next day, get up, do some jumping jacks. Half your calories would be sorted out. I'm not saying you do it, you go eat out because you can do jumping jacks. But well, what I'm trying to tell you is jumping jacks is what will give you immediate relief to a certain extent. And before you even realize, your mental health anyways is getting a boost. The moment we think and talk about strength training, there's something that kind of scares us. It used to scare me. I used to think about this heavy gym equipment, we'll have to go work out and all that. But it's not that tough and it's not that complicated. You can do simple strength training related exercises at home. Go do squats, do lunges, do crunches, do push ups. And if nothing works, just take those steps. Walk up the steps, whether it is at home, whether it's at office or it is your shopping. Strength training can be done with very simple things like a resistance band at home. You don't necessarily have to do those dead weights and all. You can do them well and good. And one thing I must mention here, when we talk about exercise or any kind of physical regime, when you start, please ensure that all of you take the guidance of some kind of a physical fitness trainer or health coach. Don't start them on your own. Now I come to something which is again very close to my heart. From times immemorial in India, at least, we've been hearing about our rishis and munis being in that complete state of mindful blissfulness. They get so well attuned with respect to their mind and their physical form that nothing tends to disturb them. We are celebrating International Yoga Day nowadays. The benefits of yoga are so well known. Whether you do meditation, individual forms of asanas, in groups, or even with two people, it will help you. It will help you by improving your focus, by enhancing your performance levels. For children, it can even improve their academic levels because it even develops your motor skills. We don't realize it. Every part of the body gets activated when we do things like yoga. Overall, it gets you into a state of complete and perfect mindfulness. We don't realize, I'm talking about physical activity and how it helps. There are actual asanas in yoga which directly affect your mental health. At the end of a grueling session, we all love to do savasana. Yes, it reduces stress and strain, fatigue, but we don't know it brings what a level of mental calmness as well. Tadasana, for that matter, it improves your memory and thinking power and enhances concentration. This is one very good thing we can tell our children to do. Talk about the cat pose. Yes, releases and improves upon your fatigue levels and all that, but it brings about your psychomotor agitation also into balance. Vajrasan, myriad number of benefits for the gut, but it also helps in hypersomnia. And we know that this is what is needs to be taken care of so that we can get a good sleep. Feeling depressed, go get up, do the warrior pose. Irrespective of how you look at it, yoga has n number of benefits and it will help you. But do these all exercises help you if you just do them once and don't do it the next day? No. All these effects and all these benefits will come to you only when you come down to form a particular consistent routine. Initially, doing any form of an exercise may seem a chore, but once you start doing it on a day-to-day basis, it becomes your second nature. It becomes very easy. It becomes so easy that the day you don't do it, you feel something is missing. You feel drained of energy the day you don't exercise. And it's not really that difficult to form a consistent routine. It's actually very easy to make it sustainable. Start small, set small goals, look at those goals, see what you have achieved, see what you need to do. The physical fitness centers that we have nowadays, they are doing a very good thing. They're mixing it up. Why do they mix it up? One, so that you don't get bored. It becomes takes you out of that state where you become complacent and the monotony sits in. It becomes more of an activity you look forward to. They're mixing up things like yoga, like aerobics, and of course cardio and strength training as well. It's always good to get along a partner with you to do exercises, whether it's your partner at home, it's your parents, your children, a friend, anybody. Even if you go to the park or even on the street, anywhere you walk, if you see that familiar face on a day-to-day basis, you will definitely land up smiling. That smile itself will make you feel good because it will affect your brain directly. Start small, start with shorter goals, start with simpler steps, start with mini workouts. And I must say that once you start this, there is no going back. There's again, very simple thing that everybody used to say, that after a meal, go for those 100 steps. They will help improve your gut, they will help improve your metabolism. It'll do all that. It'll go further. It'll help this as well. We will perform better. We will have more focus. We will have better concentration levels. We will have no stress. We will have no anxiety. And yes, we are living in this life where stress is bound to happen, but you will become more resilient towards stress. You will be able to deal with it better because there will be that system inside, mentally and physically, which will help you manage it. And I must say here, I totally agree with this. Happiness is absolutely nothing but a state of mind. It has got nothing to do with the external world. It's all got to do with what you are doing with yourself, inside you, how you're performing on the outside to affect the inside of you. On that note, I encourage you all and request you all to start a regime if you haven't started yet, if nothing else. Don't think about the mental health, don't think about the physical health. Just think of it this way: you dance, you feeling good, put on some music, go out, you go greet a friend, your social well being is taken care of, everything will get sorted out. Get up, step up, metamorphically and physically. With this, I open it to all of you. In case anybody has any queries, I would love to answer them.
Thank you so much, Nalini ma'am, for giving us immense knowledge about the connection between physical and mental health. And I would like to add on this that please don't neglect your mental health. Always stay fit by inculcating daily exercises in your routine and having a nutrition and balanced diet. So there is one question from someone has asked, as you said, you have worked for Indian Air Force. What advice do you have for maintaining work-life balance to protect mental health? Many job seekers in corporates are facing this nowadays.
Okay. This is actually a very apt question. People say they don't have time. And sometimes it actually becomes difficult to take out those 10-15 minutes. I spoke about something called mini workouts. Ideally speaking, yeah, 45 minutes to 1 hour a day. It could include everything. It could include a parts, like parts of yoga, your breathing, your meditation, or whatever. But at the same time, go for mini workouts. Start small, have smaller targets. You can't exercise 1 hour at a stretch. Do 15 minutes. It's very easy to take out that 5 minutes or 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. During your work regime, especially most of us are restricted to this desk job nowadays. Do something like solo squats. Do get up after every 1 hour, stretch yourself. Instead of keeping a water bottle on your table, go get up, get that water bottle. That itself is an activity. And drawing a balance, like I said, between your work and physical activity becomes easy when you make it consistent, you make it routine. It will become a second nature. You won't even realize it, you will be doing it. It's a mindset, that's all.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for clearing the doubts and this question. And before closing, I would like to remind our upcoming virtual walkathon, which will be happening on 15th of December. So I would like to request all to participate in this program and feel the difference in yourself. And we in our community we are running several programs for weight loss and for many things which we keep on running. So for more details you can connect with us. And thank you once again to all, and thank you to Nalini ma'am. Till we meet again, good night, eat healthy, stay fit. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, I would say wonderful